This is the first in a series of flies called Remnant flies. If you haven't seen the video introduction about those, I'll leave a link inside the video here and in the description down below. The Remnant flies are simply just flies that are off the cuff. They're made out of remnant material that I have, and I root around in there and I find some things that I want to make the fly out of, or that, you know, my brain is thinking this would look good or that, maybe I'll go that direction, and so on. Because of that, the format of the video is going to be a little bit different because I don't have a finished fly to show in the beginning. So, and plus the fact I want to detail out all the different pieces and parts of the fly before I actually tie it. And when I tie it, that's it. You see it live. It's never been tied before by me or anything. So this is the Mustad 33903 kink shanked hook, often used for poppers and things like that. I'm going to say this is around a size 6. I don't know for certain, but I got it out because there are different flies, Clouser style flies, that actually you can tie in that lower kink, the eyes, so the eyes are actually a little bit more in line with the shank of the hook. Just thought of it as I was doing this. These are some hairline, I think 3D eyes. I'm pretty certain their hairline has them, which are rather interesting. They have the metallic green. They come in reds and some other colors, and nice pupils to them. I've had good luck for smallmouth with these. And then I'm basically shooting for an inverted fly that will be kind of a sculpin pattern. So for the body, this is just going to be a real simple fly. I'm just going to use some real fine cactus chenille. This could be a pearl chenille. Usually the pearl chenille is a longer fiber. A tinsel chenille also will work. This is just some short fibered tinsel or chenille or pearl chenille. And for the wing on this, or the back, I'm just going to throw in some barred rabbit zonker. So 4 materials for this little fly. I'm going to be using some Uni-Thread in an olive color for my thread, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. After getting the hook in the vise, I'm going to go ahead and debarb the hook. As I said, I have not tied this, so everything, all the mistakes that I'm going to make, you're going to get to see. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of a base layer of thread just right down in that groove to try and help those eyes a little bit. Might even put in a little half a drop of super glue in there. Oops, sorry. Normally that's the kind of thing I did it out. I knocked something over. But since this is almost like close to being live, I'm just going to leave all that in there. So I'm just going to put a little half drop right down in there. Just want to secure this a little bit more. I'm going to take my thread and get those eyes right in that front little groove, kink, forward kink as it is referred to. And then put some crisscross wraps in here to hold it, and then some wraps under the eyes and over the hook shank just to hold that in place real well. Now I'm thinking the best thing for me to do is to actually cut my zonker here. See what I'm going to do. I want the tail of the zonker to be about a hook length long. So I'm going to punch a hole right about here in the zonker strip like that. And then I want the resulting zonker will be like this. So I'm going to thread that hook through that hole. Probably should have even done this to start out with. Let me see, yeah. Because then this will fold over, I'll tie it down and cut that off. And then that's just going to give me a short little tail there. All right. Yeah, now that I think about it, I could have put the Zonker on there prior to the eyes. It would have made it a little bit easier. So first note for the Remnant Fly 001, we'll put the Zonker strip on first. So with the Zonker on and out of the way, I'm going to get my thread back here to the end of the shank, right about here. Let me level this out just a little bit. Hopefully you're able to see that well enough and this bit of Zonker isn't blocking that out. I'm going to take my chenille, I'm just going to tie it in right in the back here. Wow. It's interesting when you're tying flies because often you are doing things that you think work or are supposed to work, but they don't work that well. And so you have to redo it, rework it, do it from another approach. And in this case, I'm finding that out. So even though a lot of the videos that I do look really straightforward and everything, there's a fair bit of practice and everything that goes into preparing for those videos so that when I am tying, I'm actually focused on what it is I'm saying as well as what I'm doing. So in other words, like with this one right here, maybe tying that in first was better. Maybe it wasn't, because as you could see, it was kind of in the way with trying to get this in. Of course, now that I think about it, I probably could have tied that in a lot easier if I just had it up this way. I didn't have to have it upside down. And those are the things that I'm talking about. The more you tie a fly, the more you kind of work out the right way, the easiest and smoothest way to go about tying it. Now I'm using this small bit of chenille simply because I have it for one. I thought about some dubbing, like maybe some ice dub or some laser dub or something, but this is just like an underbody. So if we're doing a little bait fish sculpin pattern kind of thing here, for some reason I'm losing part of my chenille there. See, these are all of the things that would be edited out. But I only need to get a couple wraps over there. And then I can actually use my hackle pliers to hold the end of that. And get just a couple more wraps right in front. This again is just giving the look of an underbody. So when this is wiggling around, flashing and everything as it goes through the water on the bottom or whatnot, you know, you just see that light color like the light belly of a sculpin. Clean this up just a little bit. Now, I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to bring, I do want to bring this up kind of tight, because if this is loose right in here, if I tie this in and this is loose, this can come up the hook shank like that, and you don't want it to. So I'm going to pull this rather tight. I suppose, again, I probably could have tied that in or secured that in some way. If I were going to tie a bunch of these, I would probably look for some way to actually do that. So I'm going to split these fibers up here, the fur, somewhere just behind the hook eye. Ouch. Actually, this size might work well for a with a like a micro or a pine zonker strip. We get just a few wraps in here. And I think to cut this out, I'm going to try and do this with a razor blade because I think I can get a better, cleaner cut. I don't cut my thread. There we go. Not bad. Okay, sweep that back and then clean this up. Put in a whip finish. And a little bit of trimming right up here. If you have a cautery tool, you could actually use a cautery tool. I have also even seen some people take like a Bic lighter, and they'll actually use a Bic lighter. Oops. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. I thought something didn't go down right there. All right, well, and again, this happens. Part of the reason why I'm doing these flies is to show you that everything isn't always just well rehearsed and just perfect. But as I said, you tie a dozen of these, you'll come up with a better, easier way to tie it. Something that is a little more secure, looks better, maybe even fishes better. What I was saying before is that sometimes some fly tiers, in order to clean up the fuzzies, whether it's, the rabbit fur or little barbs that get stuck out front, or in this case, some of the pearl from the chenille, they'll use a lighter and they'll just run it right under there just to kind of burn those back a little bit. There you have it. So 4 materials, 5 if you count the thread. There's a hook in there. There's some dumbbell eyes. 6, I guess, if you count the adhesive too. There's chenille body and a rabbit zonker back or wing to this. Little small sculpin, goby pattern maybe, something like that. But that is the first remnant fly. That will be the Remnant 001. I will have some other pictures out on the website about this to go along with it. I will have in the description down below, I'll have all of the different materials that I used in this. And I will file this away in a special box for remnant flies just to see what happens with it and where it goes. Again, the idea is that as time goes by, I'll take that box out and go fishing every now and again and maybe post some pictures or video follow-up on just how the remnant flies do. So that's the Remnant Fly 001. I welcome any comments that you might have about the video or about the fly itself. If this sparks any ideas in your mind in terms of a fly pattern, I would be very interested. Share that, let me know. And thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me at Devise today. I hope you learned at least a new pattern, if not a new technique, maybe a tip or trick here and there. If you have any questions about this fly or any of the techniques used in constructing this pattern,
please leave them in the comments section down below. If you go to the trouble to ask a question, I'll go to the trouble to answer it. If you'd like to help dressed irons, please share this video with your friends and anybody you think that might enjoy this pattern. Until next time, remember, it's fly tying. If you're not having fun, then you're doing it wrong.